What's up everyone, this is Lord Brodiark, this time with some very exciting news for the channel. After only 5 videos, I've managed to make it big. As you can see here, I have been noticed by the official Bacon of Positivity. This is amazing, I'm so proud to. Wait a minute, what's this he said about me? Well, Mr. Bacon, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this one. I might be clinically insane, but is it fair to say I've been shitting on Final Fantasy XIV? I don't really think so if I'm being frank here, guys. Now you might be wondering, Brodiark, why are you making a video about this random tweet from Blue Sky? It's not a big deal. First of all, shut up, it's my video. But also, I'm making this video because I've seen a specific word thrown around a lot in the greatest of communities for Final Fantasy XIV. That word being hater. I always keep it honest here on the Brodiark channel. 14 isn't in a very good spot right now. That isn't a wild hot take. If you disagree, I'm sorry, brother, but your head's in the sand. The main story quests have been the worst they've ever been, with only a slight increase in quality in 7.2. The casual content pacing has been horrible, with only a minority of high-end raiders eating good. And the few pieces of casual content we have gotten haven't exactly been stellar. Because I always keep it $1.50, I'm willing to point that out even if it's inconvenient. But does that make me a hater? Have I really been shitting on Final Fantasy XIV? I'd argue no, but let's figure that out, shall we? I suppose the question we'll have to answer here is, what exactly is a hater? And what exactly would qualify as shitting on a game? Looking the word hater up on Google gives us 2 definitions. The first is someone who greatly dislikes a specific person or thing. In this case, that would be Final Fantasy XIV. The second is someone overly negative or critical. Okay, so there's our definition. A hater is either someone overly negative or someone who greatly dislikes something. I do believe that these are a good foundation for what qualifies someone as a hater, and that we can use these going forward. The problem with these definitions arises when they get misused, and it often appears in 2 distinct ways when it comes to our favorite greatest of communities. Those who cry hater typically either assume that the supposed hater dislikes 14 in general as opposed to specific problems, or they have an oversensitivity to criticism and negativity. Here's the thing, guys. It's very possible to like certain elements of 14 and hate how others are being handled. A dislike for certain pieces of 14 doesn't automatically make you a hater. To use myself as an example, I've made a few videos talking about issues in 14, ones that would be considered more negative. But my last video on Deep Dungeons had a cautious optimism behind its tone. I might be biased here, but I believe myself to be an example of someone who is critical but not a hater. Someone who has negative things to say but isn't going to keep themselves from saying the positive too. However, I'm only going to say positive things when they're warranted, and the same goes for more negative things. That's the part you need to be careful with here, guys. We like to treat positivity as an objective good and negative as an objective evil. But that's not the truth. Being positive for the sake of positivity isn't real positivity, it's just pretending that everything's fine when it's not. This is why I hate forced toxic positivity. It's often an intentional denial of an uncomfortable truth. And I'd rather face that truth head on than pretend it doesn't exist because it's convenient to do so. I think a lot of people have grown to automatically oppose things deemed negative because of this view on positivity as an objective good. But you need negativity and criticism for something to improve. Pretending 14 is perfect or disallowing criticism of it because it's too negative only will hurt the game in the long run. If I'm being quite frank here, guys, part of the blame for 14's current state lands upon these toxic positivity people. Back during Endwalker, it was a lot less socially acceptable to point out flaws in the game, mainly because these kinds of people would dogpile you the moment you did. Now that Dawntrail's main story quests have been a colossal flop, it seems people are more willing to accept criticism. This is a step in the right direction for the community, but there still remains those who would rather shut it down outright under the label of being a hater. And look, there are real haters out there, don't get me twisted here, guys. But all I'm saying is that next time you think someone's a hater, don't be so quick to throw the word around, alright? Anyways, if there's demand for it, I might make a video on the inverse issue of this, being the concept of white knights. But I'm not sure if that's really necessary, as it would essentially be this video but with the concept reversed. Well, as always, let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you next time, brothers.